Giving all praises, honors, and glories unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, that told me this truth, and shalom to the sincere, hopeful of light, brothers out there prophesying in the true name and the true doctrine, about the times we're in, the head for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. The women and children that consist of that number. Alright, this Kwadash Poyah. And here it tells you in the book of 1 Corinthians 10 to do all to the God's glory, to give, show gratitude unto the Heavenly Father Yahweh. In the Hebrew meaning he is, or he exists. Bahashem means in the name of his only begotten son Yahweh Shai. Meaning he's the deliverer, right? So everything that we do, always keep in your mind to give thanks unto the Most High. Give all praises, honors, and glories unto Him. And it keeps you in a humble state of mind as well, because you realize as quick as things are given is as quick as things can be taken, as well as your life, and those that believe in the true name and throughout the true doctrine, we hope that the Lord keeps that spirit in us. We hope that we obtain that salvation. We are prisoners of hope. We hope that we make it the next day and to commit to righteousness and do that which is pleasing in His sight. So it keeps you humble, because you don't glorify yourself like the rest of these people do in this world. With all the materialistic things they got, their substances, they say how they did it, how they worked hard, how they, which can be boastful and prideful. And we know the Lord, hates pride. So this is 1 Corinthians 10 and start at 31. It says, whether therefore ye whether therefore ye eat or drink, or whatsoever ye do all to the glory of God. Give none offense, neither to the Jews, nor to the Gentiles, nor to the church of God, even as I please all men in all things, not seeking my own profit, but the profit of many, that they may be saved. And Yahweh Shah endured for the elect's sake, the prophets, the disciples, even men now that believe. Certain things you endure, right? So that they may be saved, the ones that believe, the ones that see and hear. When you do your ministries, you preaching, you edifying the sheep, to whoever has an ear to hear and eyes to see, right? So that way in due season, that they may be converted, not for our own profit, for them that seek learning as well, that seek wisdom, right? And none of us, has what's that called? Tzalakis. So none of us has had always that mindset, right? Like when you are in the ways of this world, and then you hear about the words of the Lord, you realize, right, how we were all filthy rags, and all the things that we've committed, before hearing the true name and the true doctrine. So what you give thanks, right? Because the Lord have mercy on you. We're all worthy of death, and the Lord will be justified. You see? So it's a thing where whatever you eat, even, hey man, especially when you wake up, pray unto the Lord, give thanks. The Lord, bless brothers where more than others. However, just like how the Lord blessed, certain prophets and disciples and kings with more than others. You see? It's a thing of balance. The Lord knows your spirit, what you can handle, and what you need. Right? Like a father to a son. He'll give you what you need first. Because a lot of people in this world, when they get what they want, it can destroy them. You see? You got, hey man, so it's a thing of balance, and it's a thing of gratitude, because it keeps you grounded, it keeps you humble. It makes you realize he's in control, which he is, and always been, and always will. You had some like Job. Job was rich in substance, in land, cattle, right? You had King Solomon. He was rich, right? Which we know who that was through the spirit of reincarnation. But just to stay on the point, then you had, Apostle John, where he ate locusts and honey in the wilderness. You see, Paul spoke about how to be content in all things. Glorify him even when things are taken away from you. Because you never know why the Lord took those things away from you. He could have been saving you from something in the near future. And I can attest to testimonies that I have went through in situations like that, in my personal trials and tribulations. There's a thing of learning, reflecting, and growing, and giving him thanks, because when you see how these people are in the world, they're completely gone, man. And it's also a training of the mind when you are in a lower state. See, because at the end of the day, the Lord is going to lift up those that are down. And when all hell breaks loose, Jacob's trouble, when people can't, when there's major famines and pestilences, uproars of the people in full throttle, now we seeing it, but it's just the beginning of sorrows. But when you see people actually resort to cannibalism and, more divisions amongst people, waxing worse, invading one another, martial law, all these things, you're gonna look back and reflect. And when we go through these things, put in a lower state, it's like a training of the mind, it's a fight, to try you as gold in the furnace. And real quick, it's Philippians chapter 4, verse 11. It says, "Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned, in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content." So whatever state the Lord put you through, you learn to deal with it. You learn to realize as you grow in this truth through your trials and tribulations. Because the Lord is not going to give you more than you can handle. You see? And and we know it's all a test. Right? You realize why you've been put through that situation. You could toughen up, you could learn, you could grow from it. Just like when we read about what our forefathers went through. That's why Paul said the things that was written aforetime was written for our learning. How they were persecuted, how they was in prison, and how the Lord delivered them out of those situations. I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound, right? People don't understand. They're so comfortable in this society, so when all hell breaks loose, they're not gonna know what to do and when it cometh. from whence it cometh, because we know it's the Lord doing it. And I know how to be abound everywhere and in all things. I'm instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Hamashiach Yahushua, which strengthened me. And so there's nothing impossible with the Most High, man. You know? Hey, so this was just to exhort brothers, like the scriptures speak about exhorting them to continue in the faith. Because faith is going to be a must in these times to come, man. And that's what's going to deliver us out of here. That's what's going to please the Lord, to find us worthy to escape. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Until next time, Shalom.